Om Shanti. Today Baba is talking about how we need to imbibe divine virtues and also tell everyone to imbibe divine virtues. But when we do all of that, what he says is, be careful you do it with love. And what I was talking about in the meditation also, one thing that we have to check is we are doing everything, but are we doing it with love? Even being with Baba or belonging to Baba or doing everything that we are doing in relationship with Baba also, are we doing it just doing it, or are we doing it with love? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. Because love makes everything very easy. When you do something with love, it becomes very, very easy. And when you do something without love, it becomes very difficult. And in Hindi, Baba says, "Mohabbat mein mehnat nahi hoti." So when you are in love, there is no labor. And when you are laboring, it means that there is no love. Let's take very simple examples. Somebody from your family is visiting and you have to cook. You're doing it with love. Very happy you are. Somebody from your spouse's family is visiting. And if you're not very happy about receiving them, you don't love them that much, then you're laboring in that cooking, or you're laboring in making arrangements. Why? Because when there is love, everything is easy. And in the slogan also, Baba today says that the form of God's sustenance of love is your easy yogi life. So even when we are in love with Baba, we have an easy yogi life. So a yogi life appears to be very easy, something that you do naturally without effort when you are in love with Baba. Now the thing is, Baba is the ocean of love. And obviously the sustenance that we are getting from Baba is the sustenance of love. And this is why a yogi life, have you ever heard about the description of a yogi life from a sannyasi? So when a sannyasi talks about yogi life, it sounds like it's nothing but easy. It's everything but easy. Yes, it's very, very difficult. It sounds like that. So when you hear about a yogi life, it always appears to be, sounds like it's not an easy thing to do. But Baba says, when you have a Raj Yogi life, yes, even if you're waking up at 3 or 3:30 or 4 or whatever, and even though you are practicing, abstinence from sensual pleasures, and you are taking care of imbibing divine virtues, you are in the world but not of the world, you're doing all of that. But still, when someone meets a Raj Yogi, they feel like they have a very easy life. Yes, and when you meet a yogi, a sannyasi, you feel like they have a very difficult life. And what is the difference in these two paths? The difference is Baba's loveful sustenance. So we are getting so much of love from Baba. It is almost bordering on pampering. So, it's like Baba is almost pampering us. I would say he's not only loving, but he's also pampering. And all that love that we receive from Baba reflects in an easy yogi life. We are also doing what a yogi is supposed to do, but we are doing it with a lot of ease because we are getting that sustenance of love from Baba. So, those of you who think that meditation is some kind of effort making technique and it's supposed to, break a sweat into you and you're supposed to toil and labor in meditation, you don't have to do that. You just have to know that this is your Father and you belong to Him, He belongs to you, He's giving you love, He's taking care, and then you forget everybody and remember your Father, and in that remembrance do everything. That is what yoga is or meditation is. And this life is very easy if you build this connection of love with Baba. How many of you have a connection of love with Baba? Yes, so that love makes it easy. If you have a connection of love, it makes the yogi life very easy. So this is the thing we need to develop even if it's not there. And then what you receive is, so you see that you are walking on this path of having a yogi life because you're being sustained by Baba's love. So when you are giving somebody a message about Baba, what Baba wants us to do or how he wants us to lead our life, then you also have to underline that you do it with a lot of love. Because you take it with love and you give it not with love is not fair. Yes, so most of you or all of you raised your hand when you said that you love the way Baba is sustaining you with love. But if I ask you this question, are you doing the same with other souls around you? Are you giving as you receive? What would you say to that? Are you doing the same with others as Baba does it to you? Because love is very transformative. And the most difficult things, the most difficult of transformations become very easy with the power of love. And just like Baba's love makes it so easy for you to transform from a bhogi life to a yogi life, Baba says, when you want other souls around you to cooperate with you in the process, or you also want them to be like you also want them to belong to Baba or embrace Baba's teachings, then you also do it with a lot of love. Because love is very important, it is the deciding factor. And if you don't do it with a lot of love, then instead of making them cooperative souls, you will end up making them people who will obstruct your path. Yes, and there are many souls who tell me that when they came into Gyan, they are receiving, a lot of resistance from people around them, or they don't receive cooperation from them to walk on this path. And that is because whatever you are doing to them, you're not doing it with love. If you did it with love, then they would cooperate with you on this path. Yes, and then you also have to understand that what you thought of as love earlier is not love. So, loving doesn't mean giving in to their vicious desires. So, that is extortion. They are trying to extort you and cross your boundaries. They are urging you to cross your spiritual boundaries in the name of love. That's not love. But what is love? Love is genuinely, seeing them as a soul and having those pure feelings for them. And having nothing but that pure energy for them. So you don't create anything inside you that is not love. That's love, but not that you give in to their vicious desires because they are trying to use the name of love to get to you. So Baba says you have to stay loveful and faithful to Baba, and with that power that comes from being loveful and faithful to Baba, you have to honor your spiritual boundaries. And then with those spiritual boundaries intact, you have to be very lovefully interactive and in relationship with others. And then they will also get the message that Baba is giving you. Now let me tell you one thing. There is this thing that people in the world also are recognizing, that anybody who has benefited from your overstepping your boundary will never like you to have a boundary in place. Yes. For example, if somebody has benefited from your wasting of time, yes, they have time to waste, they have time to kill, or they don't have the buddhi to understand that time is valuable, and they have been wasting your time also. When you set a boundary and you say that I will give you this much of time but not this much, they will resist it. It's because they have been benefiting from you crossing the boundary. And how do you know that you're crossing the boundary? So whenever you are doing something with your body, mind, wealth, time, energy, you are doing things with all of your stuff which is making you spiritually depleted. That's called crossing the boundary. So these are your resources, and you need to use them productively. These resources are not for sensual pleasure of yourself or the other person. Your body, your mind, your wealth, your energy, your time, your thought, these are your resources which have to be invested as per Baba's Srimad so that you can get good returns out of it. They can make you a deity. But if you are abusing them, so there is a difference between use and abuse. So people say there is drug use and then there is drug abuse. Drug use makes you better, drug abuse makes you worse. Similarly, when you use your mind, body, wealth, time, energy, thought, you use it productively, then it makes you a deity. And that is the art that Baba is teaching us. And when you don't use it as Baba says, then you are not using it, you are abusing it. And what it makes you is increasingly spiritually depleted. And when somebody who is body conscious is benefiting from that abuse of yours, so even when people want to leave drugs, there are people who are benefiting from that habit of theirs. They are benefiting from the poor decisions they make. They are benefiting from the money that they spend on it. So there will be resistance from all those ones who are benefiting from you abusing your resources. And when you want to set a boundary, they will not like it. But you do it anyway. And when you do it gracefully, when you do it lovefully, then they are also inspired to do the same with you. But if you're talking about love, if you're talking about becoming a deity, and you're trying to become a deity also by setting that boundary, but if you do it with bitterness and anger, then that message is lost. So Baba has given us a very good guideline. Baba says, when you speak the truth, you have to do it with sweetness. Because when you speak the truth with anger, it loses its power. When you act truthfully, when you are following Baba's Srimad, then you have to be an embodiment of what Baba's Srimad makes you. If Baba's Srimad has not made you sweet, and you cannot uphold the truth with sweetness, that means Baba's Srimad has not given you anything. And then you are not in a position to give the other person anything because you don't have anything. So Baba's Srimad is supposed to make us an embodiment of all 7 virtues. We are becoming truthful, and the truth is we are pure. The truth is I am peaceful. The truth is I am free from desire and fear. But the truth is I am also very sweet. The truth is I belong to Baba. The truth is I am a soul. I come alone and go alone. All that is true. But when you become an embodiment of the truth, you also become an embodiment of sweetness. So once you realize you are a soul on your own, you come alone, you go alone, there is no need for attachment. It doesn't mean you become detached in a manner that makes you very bitter and not sweet. So when you realize the power of the truth that you are a soul and you are enough, or Baba is enough for you, then you become very sweet. You don't become forlorn, and you don't become somebody who people can't relate to. So Baba is making us an embodiment of truth. And the truth is I belong to only one Baba. The truth is I am pure. The truth is I am fearless. I am free from desire and attachment and greed and lust. But the truth is also that I am very sweet. So when you become all of that, you also become sweet. Because sweetness inspires, sweetness transforms. And if there is no sweetness, nobody is inspired or nobody feels like getting transformed. And then it becomes a problem. So never give up on your sweetness. Yes, even if today Baba is giving a very good example. Baba says, Fulfill your household responsibilities, otherwise there will continue to be greater conflict. So, whether it's your physical duties or the duty of being loveful and sweet, you fulfill that. Continue to interact with tact. And what is tact? The balance between being truthful and loveful. That is tact. Yes, not that when you are loveful, then you lose your truth. You are, the other person is able to pull you into lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. And not that when you uphold these, you become very bitter and sour. So that's tact. You do it tactfully. And do you know, tact is never an emotional word. So when you say you are tactful, it doesn't mean you're emotional. It's something you do with the buddhi. And so every time, whenever you are, wherever you are, there is no letting down, you don't have to let your emotions get the better of you. You have to stay very aware. Soul consciousness is a very aware thing. Whenever you are emotional, there is no soul consciousness. A yogi life is a very conscious life. A yogi life is nothing that you do emotionally. Love for Baba is a very conscious thing. It's not an emotional thing. Yes? Love for Baba is a very aware exercise. It's not something that you do emotionally. That is why it is Bhakti Yoga and Buddhi Yoga both together. It is both together because it is a love that you are capable of when you are in awareness. It's not a love that, makes you lose your intellect. And in the Murli today, Baba says something very nice regarding this also. Baba says that He is the one beloved of all lovers. So we all, the souls that we are all lovers, and Baba is the only beloved. Baba says those physical lovers and beloveds remember one another, and each one's image enters the other's intellect. They continue to remember one another. Even while eating, they continue to remember one another. They are lovers and beloveds of one birth. You are the lovers of the one beloved for birth after birth. So your relationship with that physical beloved is only limited to this birth. But your relationship with Baba, the beloved, continues for birth after birth. And Baba says, you don't have to do anything else. Simply remember the one Father. The image of the other one appears to the lover or beloved. While they continue to see their image, their work stops. Then when the face disappears, he or she begins to work again. It is not like that here. Souls are points, and the Supreme Soul is also a point. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. This requires effort. Now, what is Baba saying in this? So, have you seen those lovers or beloved, or have you been that one lover or beloved where you're so much in remembrance of the other one's face that you are not able to focus on the work you're doing? Yes, and then you keep thinking about their face, and their face is what just shrouds your intellect. And then you are not able to work at that time, and when that face disappears, then you work. So Baba says, in case of a physical lover and beloved, that is how it works. But in case of Baba, Baba says that when you remember Baba, you become soul conscious. Baba is just a point, there is no face. Baba is a point, and when you remember Baba, you become a point. You become very soul conscious. And then you don't have to not work, but you work with double efficiency and accuracy. Yes, that is why in Gyan you use two words together, Yog Yukt and Yukti Yukt, which means when you are in remembrance of Baba, you are not lost. Sometimes people say lost in meditation, lost in love, lost in remembrance. No. You can be lost in the remembrance of a physical lover, but when you are in remembrance of Baba, you are not lost, you are very aware. So when you are Yog Yukt, you are not lost, you are Yukti Yukt. That is, every action that you do is accurate. Yes, so it's not like if you are a surgeon, you cannot do surgery in remembrance of Baba. Because when you remember Baba, you remember yourself, and you know you are just a point. And then you are in touch with your knowledgeful self, with your peaceful self, with your pure self, and that makes your buddhi work very well. So Baba says this is the difference between remembering a physical beloved and remembering Baba the beloved, who is my beloved for birth after birth. And then today Baba also talks about, let me read that out to you. Baba says that in bhakti you have to do a lot of bell tingling and clapping and all that stuff. So when you do bhakti, you have to do so many rituals. In Gyan, you don't do all of that stuff, but it's not that you don't do anything. In Gyan also you have to do a lot. And what's that? Baba says, here you children simply have to remember the Father and do nothing else. And what is the sign of remembering the Father? You are an embodiment of the virtues of the one you remember. You cannot say, I'm scared and I'm remembering Baba. Because if you remember Baba, you are not scared. Because Baba is fearless and Baba is giving you the knowledge that you have nothing to lose. So when you are in accurate remembrance of who Baba is, what Baba says, and who you are in relation to Baba, then you will be an embodiment of whatever Baba is an embodiment of. And then Baba says, that is remembrance. So you have to remember Baba accurately. While living at home and carrying on with everything, just remember the Father. You know that you are now becoming deities. This is the second thing. Now it's not that you just remember Baba. You also know why you are remembering Baba. Because you are going to become a deity. So then, when you're going to become a deity, you also behave like somebody who wants to become a deity. Yes, if somebody tells you, I want to pass the IIT, exam and then they are studying for half an hour a day, you say you don't pass an IIT like this. So Baba says that you know that you're remembering Baba, that you aim to become a deity. Then Baba says, what do? Divine virtues have to be imbibed here. So you think like a deity, you speak like a deity, you eat like a deity, you walk like a deity. And if you don't do, you are not becoming a deity. So Baba says, take care that you are imbibing divine virtues. Your food and drink also have to be pure. So deities won't eat and drink anything impure. When you offer bhog to deities, you take care that you don't offer anything impure. So you can't eat things that you don't offer in bhog to a deity, because now you intend to become that deity. So eat and drink, both is pure. And Baba says you will receive 36 varieties of food there, but they'll all be pure. Yes? Here you have to live simply. These are Baba's directions today. You have to note them down, and not only in your pen and diary, but in your life. So what is Srimad today? Purity of food if you want to become a deity. Second thing, you have to live simply, neither too well nor too ordinary. So the middle path. Your clothes, your shoes, your lifestyle has to be simple. It doesn't have to be very poor. It doesn't have to be something that makes you feel miserable inside. And it doesn't have to be very gaudy and something that catches your attention all the time or makes you body conscious. Yes, let's take an example. You wear a torn piece of garment. It's torn from somewhere. You will keep thinking about that garment because you cannot free your mind from something that's torn. And you wear a very gaudy piece of garment also, something very lavish, something you spend too much on. That also keeps your attention anchored to it. But if you wear something that's clean, proper and simple, then you don't have to think about your clothes. So this is something that Baba recommends. And then Baba says, remain tolerant in every situation. This is Srimad. You have to remain tolerant in every situation. Don't ask why this, why that, how dare this, how dare that. No. This is the end of Kali Yuga. Things are not going to be sweet and nice and favorable. Whenever you are, wherever you are, with whoever you are, always have your power of tolerance emerged in yourself. Yes? And once somebody told me that, Didi, I booked a hotel and I was on a vacation, and this was pre-COVID times, and he said that I spent a fortune for that trip. And then when I went there, they had given me a room different from what I had booked. And then I fought and screamed and shouted, and for 2 days that whole fiasco went on, and finally I got the room, but then I couldn't stop thinking about how I spent so much and how the trip was spoiled because they didn't give me the right room. And do you know, Didi, I spent 5 lakhs on that trip and it just went to nothing because of that room. So I said, no, it went to nothing because of your power of tolerance or your lack of power of tolerance. Because even if you've spent a fortune, you don't give away your fortune because you've spent a fortune. And your fortune is not that 5 lakhs. Your fortune is your happiness. And you gave it away the moment you started screaming and shouting and getting upset about they giving you a different room. And I'm not saying that you don't go and ask for a different room. You have paid for it, you'll get it. But what is the journey like? So when you have the power to tolerate, you work for what you need to work for, but with patience and positivity. They give you a room after 2 days. They will give it to you at a time when you are supposed to get it. And they will not give it to you before that, and you will not get it without making an effort also. You have to complain, you have to tell. You have to put in some effort to get it back. But when you do all of that without emerging your power to tolerate, without putting every second that is passed behind you, then you actually lost your fortune. So Baba says, even if you do everything correctly and even if you do all that you are meant to do in a situation, sometimes you will not be able to get what you are seeking in that situation. Or I would say most of the times you will not. So then what you do is you emerge your power of tolerance and do whatever you are required to do in that situation. And if you just keep asking how dare they or why this or why that, it's not going to work. Only you end up not only being miserable in that moment, but also creating a sanskar that is going to make you miserable for much after. So Baba says, emerge your power of tolerance in every situation. Everything has to be tolerated. Praise and defamation, victory and defeat, heat and cold. Baba says you have to tolerate everything. This is the time, and there is a reason why God is giving this as His Shrimat. There is a reason why Bhagwan has come and is telling us that this is something we need to do. We have to listen to Him. And Baba says tolerate everything, heat and cold, praise and defamation, victory and defeat. The time will come when you won't find water. You won't find this or that. And even the sun will become very hot. Those times are coming when all you think that you have a right to, all you think that you're entitled to is going to just collapse. Everything becomes tamo pradhan, and that is how the 5 elements are going downhill day by day. This world is tamo pradhan. Even the elements are tamo pradhan and cause sorrow. So whatever is tamo pradhan causes sorrow. Baba says, you mustn't get caught up in praise and defamation. Now the thing is, sometimes you intend to not get caught up in defamation, but if you get caught up in praise, you will definitely get caught up in defamation. Let's take a very simple example. I tell you, you are wearing a very nice dress and you look very nice today. And then you think it is about you, it's about how you look. Yes, that is being caught up in praise. And then somebody walks along and they say, you're looking very bad today, very ugly. And who chose that dress for you? It doesn't suit you at all. And then you get caught up in defamation automatically because now it's again about you. And you can't help it because you get caught up in praise, you get caught up in defamation. It works like that. So what do you do? When somebody comes, tells you you're looking very good, you think they have a good eye, so they feel you are looking good. It's about them, not about you. You are who you are anyway. Then somebody says you're ugly, you know it's about them, it's not about you. So this is something that Baba teaches us, not to get caught up in victory or defeat. If it's victory, you say it's according to drama. If it's defeat, then it's automatically according to drama then. So when you get caught up in what you think is the positive, then you automatically get caught up in the negative. And Baba says you have to be in a position which is neutral, neither positive nor negative, because both of those are Maya. Both of those are Maya. So if you get happy because of something, you will get sad because of something else. So Baba says you don't get happy, you stay happy. Because happiness is your nature, not because something happened. Then you can't be sad because something happened. Okay, Om Shanti.